Gentlemen, welcome. I don't feel the need to use a mic because, well, I'm loud. Everybody hear me in the back? Everybody hear me in the front? Everybody in front going deaf? Yes. Okay. If anybody wants to meet the Legion afterwards, we have a booth 3401 in Hall D. Feel free to swing by. This isn't going to be a how you apply to the Legion, how you build your costume panels. I want to give you guys a chance to meet us, get to know what we do, why we do it, why it's important to us. We're not just geeks. Okay, I may have to take that back a little bit. All right, so let's start out with this. We are the Badlands Garrison. This is who we are, what we do. We are serving Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. We are basically a subsidiary of the 501st Legion, which is a worldwide organization. It's wonderful. I mean, if anybody gets a chance to do this, it's awesome. I'd like to introduce you to our panelists. So we're going to begin with, I'm James Dalton. We're going to go next with Teresa Nuthall. She's actually one of our members. And we're going to go with Chuck Fortin. Chuck, introduce yourself. Off it comes. Whoa. You knew this coming in. It's an improvement. Okay, these are our three panelists. We're going to be discussing what the Legion does, why it's important to us. And Chuck is actually one of our newest members, so he's going to be, what do you find out in the first year? Okay, and so what is the 501st Legion? Well, put simply, who are we? We're the bad guys. We are the bad guys from the Star Wars universe. If it's in a book, if it's in a movie, if it's in a cartoon, and there's enough information, we have the costume. And if you know more than us, come on in. We want more information. We love new characters. We want people to join us. So I apologize for turning my back. I'd like you to meet some of our members. As you can see, these are members of the costume. Some of us have multiples. Some of us do silly things like donate blood and full armor. We do all kinds of great things. What do we do? Three things. We do charity, we do community, and we do Star Wars. We work with charities throughout our region. They ask us to come out to events. We show up, we help out where we can. People love to come out and meet Star Wars. Obviously, because, well, you guys came out to meet us. And I'd like you to meet a few more of our members we're going to go with. So these are the people that actually make this happen. So we're going to begin on the far left with our TK. His name is Jaden. Jaden, introduce yourself to the folks. Bucket off. We're doing this. This is Meet the Legion. He's doing something called the TK twist, so he doesn't take his nose off with that helmet. Back in the 70s, they didn't really care about actors or, OSHA. I'd like you to meet one of the lovely ladies of Legion, Kara. She's carrying the big cannon. She's our Nova Trooper. She's a special ops detachment. She's actually from the video games and some books. She has to do the TK twist with a few additional things. You need a hand, Kara. Apparently she needs an instruction. And last, I'd like you to meet not last, actually next we're going to introduce somebody from Throwback from Clone Wars. We've got these Lees, folks. We don't care, male, female, you can be whichever character you want. That's the important stuff for us. And last, the man with the big cannon, Aaron. Let me give you the cannon so you can introduce yourself to the folks. Up. There we go, folks, this is Aaron. All right, these are an example of some of our members. As you can see, ordinary people, and we like to help out with everything we do. So, we go back to what we do. We do charity, we do community, which means that events in the communities, a lot of neighborhood groups invite us out. We come out, we help out where we can, same thing with the charities. We have helped out in many different places. We've been with the CPO, we've helped out with the UFC, we've gone out to the Roughnecks. Since we're in Calgary, I won't mention anything about what happens north of us. But we have actually been out with the Oil Kings and they've done Star Wars nights, so this is what we do. And most importantly, which I'm pretty sure what most everybody is here for, we do Star Wars. We do it well. This is what we love. This is a passion for us. We do costuming. We do on stage. So some special events request us to come out. You may recognize a gentleman doing the singing. Woo! Ditty about us. And then there's the fun stuff, the conventions. This is a picture from this year from Star Wars Celebration. We had a few of our members from the world come out. We kitted up for a picture. Ever imagine herding cats? It's not quite that easy. And we do Star Wars everywhere. You've seen us around at the events. And, well, really what we do is forging for, you know what? That's not right. This is my family, folks. We are a family. We do stuff worldwide. I've been to Southern California and I've told people, hey, I'm going to be in town, and suddenly I find out I've got 15 invites to events everywhere. They're like, we're doing dinner, come on out. We have a great member who got stranded in Texas last year because the airlines decided to negotiate, had nowhere to stay. One of the members came out so he could stay at his place.
Epic time.
Yep. This is the sort of thing we do. We are a very close-knit family. We help each other. We, honestly, you can't do this on your own easily. If you can, please tell me how. I want to know. All right. There's a whole lot more things we've done. These are my family, as I said. Christmas Expo. Some people in Anaheim at somebody's birthday. And locally. This is what we do. Now, let's go with this one. Since a lot of people here are asking how to join the Legion, it's a really complicated process. First thing is, you must be 18 years of age or older. You must have an accurate Star Wars costume. What that means is, well, we'll get into that in a minute. There's a lot more to go with this. Third, well, that's it. We don't charge money. You show up, come out once a year, have fun. That's the bare minimum to join and stay out. So we'll keep going with this one. How do I do this? Well, we've got a booth. Come talk to us. We'll talk your ear off on how you do it. I could easily go into an hour. But if you have questions, ask them. Chances are, if you don't ask the question, you're going to make a mistake. I know I have. I think everybody here has it sometime or other. And no, it's not a stupid question. It's going to be a stupid mistake about to happen. So this is the basics of the Badlands. I've done the introduction. This is how you can get in touch with us, but easily just come by the booth. We've got cards, we've got pamphlets, we've got trash compactor, and we've got Black Series, and we usually have a bunch of people walking around in armor checkout. I'm now going to hand you off to Teresa. She's going to do her little spiel, and I'm just going to stand here looking pretty.
Okay. I'm also not going to use a mic because pretty much I can't do much. So I do have a few notes that I'm going to follow, but mostly I'm just going to speak to you. As James had said, I'm Teresa Nuttall. We go by TKIDs or ID numbers in the Legion. So you kind of keep some anonymity, but when you're on the forums, I'm TK41307. My name that you know me by is Solart. And that's how we kind of know one another. This is Skullflare, this is Pirates, you know, that sort of a thing. So I've been a member of the Legion since April 18th, 2016. My very first troop was Parade of Wonders. I'd never put my armor on before. I'm original Stormtrooper, a New Hope Stormtrooper. And then at that particular event, I told this man, I was like, I'm going to be Phasma for the next time around. And they're like, oh, good luck. And really, it took me 11 months. I needed the good luck. I needed all the luck in the world. I have since trooped over 60 troops in my last 2 years, and it is all charitable. What we do is volunteer our time. We give of ourselves. We look cool doing it, but if you're looking for a way to give back to the community and satisfy your nerd side, this is it. Like, it really is it. I've also been fortunate enough and had the honor of representing our garrison as the Badlands Public Relations Officer. It's a title and a role that I take very seriously, and it is an honor. I find it an honor to work with these people. Let me go back to, as James was saying, we really are a family. What it is really, it's a huge, varying group of people all coming together for the same collective goal and reasons. You want to give back, you want to give of yourself in some way, and obviously, if you want to look at the 501st, you want to be involved with Bad Guys in Star Wars. Unless maybe you want to be Rebel Legion, Merc, that's a different panel, but they're there at the booth. If you want to look at the good side, they're there with us too.
But you don't.
You don't, you really don't. This is the coolness. No.
Or go both ways, like me.
Right, true.
Clone Trooper, before Order 66 were good guys, the Revolution. After Order 66 were bad guys, who fought first.
I can't say anything. I'm a clone.
Legion really does become your family. I think many of us joined, we all have varying reasons as to why. The common goal is Star Wars. Let's say you wanted to volunteer. Let's say you just wanted to costume at a higher level or caliber of costuming. The group is really diverse, but all of us are here for the same reason. And we really are a family. I could not imagine my life as it is right now. What it was 2 years ago to what it is today. I couldn't imagine my life without these people at all. There is a great sense of belonging. Look at me, I'm all emotional. Captain Phasma does not cry.
Teresa balls like it.
I totally do. I'm like the bleeding heart of the Legion. I'm sorry. It's real. It's a real thing. Okay, and speaking of a sense of belonging, we have a large female membership. Yes, no discrimination whatsoever. Race, religion, sexual orientation, body sizing, there is none of that in the Legion. It is forbidden, absolutely forbidden. And as an accepting group, we have also a group called Ladies of the Legion. It's actually made by Legion ladies, Mercs, Rebels, and 501, and it was created for the unique challenges that women have in armor versus our male counterparts. I mean, let's face it, our physiological aspect is different. We have a hard time fitting into some armor parts that our males can't. So it's a support group, really. It's just a support to help with, they understand what it is that we are doing. We have, out of the 123 members within the Badlands Garrison itself, 92 are male and 31 are men. That's a quarter of our membership. And it's, I'm really honored and proud to say that that's a really large number compared to all the other garrisons around the world. So it has never, ever been an issue. If you're a lady looking to join the 501st, please don't let that be a deterrent to you. Our men are beautiful. It's not even an issue. Like if that was an issue for you in this particular group, it is not.
If you don't think you can do it, yeah, you can. We
Yes,
can make
you can.
any costume work for you. We have a lovely little lady named Michelle. She's one of our Vaders. All 6'4" of her in armor, all 5'6" of her in bare feet. So it can be done. It's just what you're willing to go through to do it.
And as James had said, worldwide, you will meet people all over the world. Yes, Star Wars Celebration is an annual thing that if you can make it to, you can go to and you can meet these people. But there's forums all over the place, and Legion members from all over the world communicate. And you'll get to know some of the call signs, maybe some of the faces. And if ever I was in need, I could count on these people. I have counted on these people. Never mind, we look cool. I mean, yes, our costuming are amazing, but you will get far more out of the Legion than just a costume. That's it for me.
Okay, I'm going to introduce Chuck next. He's actually one of our newest members on the panel. He's been in for around about a year.
July.
Yeah, close enough. But he's going to give you the new guy's perspective, see what it's like. Because some of us have been around for a few years. Some of us have been around a lot longer. So I want to hear what he has to say about it. Why did he join? Let's go.
Okay, so I was going to do a big speech and talk about how I've been to 35 troops in the last year, and the 501st is worldwide, 61 countries, and the things I've seen, the things I've done. We've been to children's hospital events, we've been to Make-A-Wish events, we've worked with CUPS, we've worked with the Autism Asperger Foundation, we've worked with, the list can go on. Plus, like Calgary Libraries, plus City of Calgary, plus really anything. But I think really what's more important to talk about is really what I've gotten and why I joined. So while I was talking with James, who I've known since grade 2, is it 40-ish years?
Yeah, about that.
Off and on. He's been in this cool thing, and I was afraid to do it. I'm not really outgoing, I'm not really social.
He lies.
Having said that, that's one of the end results of this. I was afraid I couldn't do it, I was afraid I wouldn't fit in, but I wanted to make a difference. So I thought I could be a Shriner, I thought I could do charity work. But this way I get to do charity work and be freaking cool. So I did it, and I mean the blossoming that's happened with all of us, just being part of this, being part of a new family, being part of such an accepting group is phenomenal. I go to these events, I see kids cry in fear from me, I see kids delight in hysterical joy from me, and like that kind of visceral response is not something you can match ever. So if you want to do this for just Star Wars, that's fine. If you want to do this for just charity, that's fine. But you'll find they cross really quickly. I have had this discussion with almost everyone in the Legion. Why did you join? Did you join because you like Star Wars? Did you join because you wanted to do charity work? Did you join to have camaraderie and have a new acceptance? It's all of it. They go hand in hand, and it's phenomenal. I couldn't imagine not joining. I thank James for allowing me to join, for convincing me to join. And
Convincing. This guy hounded me every convention for 2 years.
and then ran away and hid. But I'm here, and I don't regret it. And really, if you want to do something to make your life better, this is one thing you can do. I've lost 50 pounds, gained a lot of confidence, gained new friends, gained new family. It's a pretty cool thing.
See, I'm not the only one who gets emotional.
Besides just Star Wars, it's a cool thing to do.
I was just going to say, like, if anybody's interested, something to think about for this is really what costume speaks to you.
Yeah, find your passion, definitely.
I've told Chuck this. It's a case of, if anybody wants in, come talk to me afterwards. I can tell you I'd be in the Legion in about 2 weeks. But I'll be honest with this one. If it's not a costume that you want to wear, you will not be happy with it. You will... Do I really want to be called Boba Fett again? Trust me, I get called that. So think about that. If you are seriously thinking, think about what costume. Come talk to us at the booth. Meet some of our members. We've got people around there. Ask us what we do, where we do it, how we do it, because these can get really complex really quickly. I can honestly say every one of us is to help somebody get kitted up, get the armor assembled, get it ready to wear, and that can take time. And honestly, it's going to be incredibly intimidating. You're going to get a box of white plastic. You're going to open it, and you're going to shake your head going, what did I just get myself into? Well, okay, someone's got a box of fabric, but you get what I mean. No, this is really how it starts. You decide what costume you want, you come talk to us. And the first question anybody's going to ask is, can I be a? And the answer is yes. So long as it is, well, basically as long as it is what we call, there's a costume reference library, CRL. That's where you're going to look inside the costume. You just have to basically be screen accurate. That's the absolute minimum.
And if anyone is interested in coming to the booth, this gentleman right here, his name is Aaron. He is our Garrison membership liaison. He is the guy who will approve your costumes. If you want to talk about costumes, that would be your guy. If you want to talk stormtroopers, that would be your guy. He is an attaché for the 1st Imperial Stormtrooper Detachment, and he helps people all over the world become a stormtrooper. He is an invaluable source of information. If you're interested at all, find him this weekend. He's a great resource. You have a lot of our command staff at the 501st booth at the moment, any of which can answer whatever questions you may have.
And to be totally honest, this is going to be, we sort of say this is going to be your first costume in the Legion. There is...
Starting point.
Yeah, there's no, well, okay, one. One member here only has one costume.
I got the coolest one.
But the rest of us run multiples because it gets fun. You kind of want to change it up a little, and eventually something new comes out. For example, Rogue One came out and I saw this guy running across the screen and went, I don't know who that is, but I'm making it.
Like I said, I started for charity, and I thought I'd have one costume and I'd go to these events and do good. And the more you sink your feet into the water, the more it overpowers you, and the more you want to do, the more passion you find, and the more love you find, and the more response you find to these characters at events, and the more you want to get that response at events. And as important as the charity is, that selfishness of being around people that say, hey, that's cool, it's pretty fun.
I joined because my brother was a member, and we had lost our baby sister years back, and I wanted to be closer with him. And he was already a Legion member, and he kept hounding me, Teresa, you gotta join, Teresa, you gotta join. I don't have time, I don't have time. I'm a hockey mom, I can't do it. And he's like, I'd really like to have this experience with you. So I handled for a year, which handling is another position kind of outside the Legion. You just make sure we're all safe. And then I joined. He helped me build my first set of armor, my A New Hope Stunt TK, which is still my favorite armor. Even as amazing as this is, it's what that armor represents for me. And that's why I joined, is to spend more time with my brother, doing nerdy things. And here I am now doing my own nerdy thing. He's not even in here.
So this is going to be the Q&A portion if anybody's interested. Let's turn over to you guys. Does anybody have any questions for us?
So one of the challenges that I've had looking for costumes is that the really high quality costumes that I've seen are really meant for men to wear. And so I've looked for like armor pieces and things for somebody my size, and like I found that they don't really exist. So like, can you recommend any place to look, or is that just where you start custom building things, or?
Well, it depends. It really, I sort of know that answer, but Aaron can back me up. But
What costume are you looking at doing? And generally, almost any armor when you get it can be modified to accommodate you,
Okay.
right? So it's just a matter of getting the proper resources, and we can find stuff. For bigger troopers, there's certain armor makers out there that will make a larger armor, and we can get you pieced together and make you the way that you want to be.
and I mean, the
Or for
first,
smaller sizes,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
look petite. Are you like short in stature?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if it, let's say it was a stormtrooper you wanted to be, there is a couple out there that make for 5'4" you know, and they're going to fit certain sizings, that sort of thing, and then you can custom build. But for sure, stop by and ask us, we'll point you.
Okay, I'll stop by.
Yeah,
it starts with is what armor do you want, and then we'll point you what's called the detachment. That's where you get most of the information, because armor can vary widely. How this goes together is very different than how that goes together. It's actually very similar to how that goes together, because the same guy may have made both costumes. But they're very different, so you can easily get information overloaded if you go to the wrong place. So start out with the detachment, and then they can help you out, or we can help you out with that, because a lot of our members are specialists. We have people who know a lot about TKs. We have people who know a lot about everything. We have people who own way too many costumes, and their wives keep encouraging them. I just finished my baker's dozen this year.
There's fabricators, there's leather workers, there's seamstresses. I mean, all super important and all very willing to give up their time and give up their abilities to help. So if you decide you want to be a stormtrooper and you want help, talk to us. We'll bring you into a workspace and we'll get working for you. With you.
Every single one of these pieces on this kit, when I first applied, actually had to be cut and trimmed down.
Okay.
And then reshaped, and then repainted, cut again, trimmed, over and over again until it actually worked.
But it can be done.
And I will actually direct you over to D's. That armor actually fits me. So we can get you in it, and we can set it up right, and there's a lot of tricks we can do to make it happen.
And this armor, the guys, I was like so lost. I was like, I can't wear armor. So I actually I was born missing vertebrae in my spine. So I'm like all legs and this tiny short torso. So I was just like, I'm never going to be able to fit it. And then these guys were like, no, don't worry, we'll get, so they had to like cut and trim like the top portion of this armor just so it could actually like fit me fairly properly. So there's ways to get around, like, and again, in the Ladies Legion group, again, there's a lot of that I'm really short or I'm really curvy or I'm a double F, how do I fit this in? And the Ladies Legion group is great because the women all have awesome tips for how to fit into any type of costume, because someone, I guarantee you, has had the same issue and has found a way to solve that problem.
I think we answered the question about the smile. Does anybody else out there have any questions for us?
In the Legion, do you have any Imperial Guards?
Actually, he's sitting a row behind you, keeping an eye on you. I'd like to warn everybody, we actually have placed the audience with members. I'm looking at them. So we're keeping an eye on, no, we're the back. Yes, we do have Imperial Guards, actually.
We have Imperial Guards, we have Shadow Guards, we have everything. There's not much that's in the Star Wars universe that doesn't exist in the 500 universe.
And if it isn't in ours, it will be in one of the other groups.
Yeah. And if it's not, it's because it's brand new.
yes.
How do you stay cool in those costumes?
Cool. What? Did you hear that? We
How do you stay cool in the costume? You go into the back room and you take it off.
Oh, see, I think we're always.
Well, cool. I mean, we may be building.
It really depends. Some costumes are a lot better than others.
I've got a couple fans inside the helmet.
And honestly, that's a set of Under Armour under plastic. So he's actually probably one of the better ones. This gentleman has 7,000 layers of fabric. He will pass out shortly.
I have a nihilist as well, and I wear an ice pack that's sewn in a special custom ice pack vest. So I just have, those like you click them and you shake them and they're cold for 3 or 4 hours, and I have little pouches so that I can, keep my core cool, and then I can also tuck one under my nihilist, like we call them the cat ears helmet. So you can do stuff like that as well. So yeah, like fans, ice packs, things like that. The clone trooper has this nice empty space in the back, so again, I can actually put ice packs in there if I'm out hot day or anything like that. So there's a few different ways. But for the most part, yeah, you're just a hot, sweaty mess.
I do what I can to stay out of the sun. That's all I can do.
See, and I like being in the sun because I reflect all the rays off of me.
I'll be totally honest, we actually keep an eye on members when it comes to events. We have great handlers. I'd like to meet Liz. She is phenomenal. She makes sure that we get the heck out when we start to do this. You start seeing somebody do this, the next thing you're going to see them is doing that.
One of the worst things is dehydration.
Yeah.
I've gone through it myself as the emperor.
She is an emperor. As I said, ladies of the Legion. But it's a case of you have to keep an eye on each other. This is actually foam gaskets. I'm wearing a relatively comfortable t-shirt which has absolutely no airflow across it, and plastic. I have very little breathing in the parts of me that are giving off as much heat as possible, and I do have fans in my helmet too. It's one of the first things you do.
And I have no breathability, and I wear a 10-pound tent on my back. But, for the time frame, you make sure that you're hydrated, and somebody's making sure they shove snacks in your mouth so you're not, your sugars don't drop. And
water in the back.
Yep. We have people with camelbacks, all sorts of stuff, but really it's a matter of we limit the amount of time you can do in a costume. We try to. We have some Ironmen that are crazy and will do 13 hours in armor. And we have some wives that will get on their back at about hour 0. Don't stay there for 14 hours. Yeah. Short answer is we don't, but we have ways of mitigating problems.
And everyone's comfort level is different.
Yeah.
So what's hot for some is hot for others.
We have a gentleman in the back.
Do you guys have building meetups for new people that are just trying to get in?
yes.
Yes, we depending where you're located, we have regular ones that happen between Calgary and they happen in Edmonton. If you're in a more remote area, it depends because somebody hosts them all the time in Grand Prairie. I'd like to point out this lady has actually done higher recruitment in Grand Prairie than all of Calgary did last year. She's pushy.
I am not.
She is a loving member. She has actually just got an award for being the spirit of the Legion. She is what we embody.
Charismatic. Huh?
Yeah, she helps
I'm
out.
not.
She actually gets the best. She actually gets the best in people. She gets them to come out, do it. She introduces them to it and helps them.
Well, I was the only trooper. I was the only 501st member north of Edmonton. I still live an hour north of Grand Prairie, and it was lonely trooping by myself. I did not enjoy it at all. I mean, it was great to go out, but then I met other people. I was like, really, honestly, do you want to join me? Do you want to join me? And I made a personal vow that anyone wishing to join, I would personally help them build their armor or sew them their costume. I sew. So anyone that has joined, I've personally helped them and encouraged them. And we have armor parties, and we get together and we all help one another build that suit of armor, which I feel also increases the level of fellowship that we share. That when we go out and troop together, we are invested in one another, and we therefore care more for one another as individuals.
That's how my husband and I got together, was an armor party, so I married Stephen. We met in the Badlands Garrison building clone armor. So, it can also be a dating service.
So yeah, it depends where you live. Your best bet is to pop on. We have a Facebook group, follow it there. You can get all the information at the booth. Like I said, this is going to be fairly casual chat, and hop on the boards, create an account, keep an eye there. We announce it usually at least 3 or 4 weeks out when it happens. We're starting to get into the warmer weather where it doesn't need to be crammed into somebody's living room. So we'll, put it out in the driveway if the weather holds nice.
When James says pop on the boards, What he means is each detachment, again, in the CRL, Costume Reference Library, has a detachment. Each of those detachments has a forum that's responsible for it, for that costuming community itself. So the 1st Imperial Stormtrooper Detachment is where you would go if you had any questions or information in regards to anything Stormtrooper. If you wanted to be Darth Maul, Darth Vader, there's a Sith Lord Detachment, in which those comes a forum board where you can access build threads, where to buy, who to stay away from.
And all the experts.
Yes.
You go in there, the next costume I'm building, sorry.
No, go.
Is a bounty hunter. So I went to the Bounty Hunters Guild and I said, hey, I want to do this and I have no idea what to do. And instantly I was flooded with messages. Do you need this? You need to do this, ask me questions, do this, help here, help here, help here. And they're, like I said, 61 countries, a lot of people that are willing to help.
Yes, that's what he means by boards.
And there's actually our information up there if you're not planning on coming to the booth. Badlands.ca is our local garrison. Like I said, we're Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. That's where usually the announcements come out, that and Facebook. So.
I have a second part to that kind of question because you're talking about relationships. How do you convince Outford members, how do you convince your spouses that aren't into Star Wars? I persuade my wife in going along in this journey.
I made my wife a Jawa.
Yeah.
My loving wife actually let me do this, but she wasn't sure about what it was about. So I made her a Jawa, and she is pretty much hanging around with us all weekend helping us out. She's a member too.
Same thing happened to me.
That's how she got into it as well.
So make them a Jawa. Okay.
Well, it depends. If your wife's really tall, maybe TK.
Or, you know what, have her hang out with you as a handler. When she sees the children lose their minds, well, even the big children, the 40-something, 50-year-old children, yeah, when they lose their minds and when they see when she sees the smile on their faces, when, let's say, a child hugs your arm or leg and says, I love you, you're my hero. I can't believe I'm meeting Captain Phasma. Can girls be stormtroopers too? Yeah, you're my hero, Darth Vader. When she sees that, she'll be like, okay, I think I want some of that.
One of our members who's currently in the back, you might be able to tell him he's not so much camouflaged. His wife has never actually seen Star Wars. She had no idea what she was getting into.
Not one. She's not seen one of the Star Wars movies. We tried to pin her down.
We did.
She
fell asleep.
Nope.
She weaseled her way.
Nope, she was petting dogs.
Yeah.
She fell asleep. That's right.
Yeah.
But I just want to second that is like, because she does not have a costume. So I agree with everyone to make the costume come out. She does not have a costume. She's a handler. She comes out all the time. But I want to second that. When they see what the 501st does, it doesn't have to be about Star Wars. It'd be about Star Wars for you, because it's about Star Wars for me too. For her, it became about the charity of the children and, you know, and
the sense of family.
Yeah. On that one. And it didn't have to be about Star Wars for her, because it isn't. Because she honestly doesn't care. But she's there all the time to see her. She's probably the one that takes your photo. Came back, she's one of the ones that took your photo. And that kind of stuff. But have them come out with me.
I gotta disagree with him. When he says that she doesn't care, she's actually probably one of the biggest moms out there for us.
Yeah.
She is constantly checking on us. Do you need water? Do you need to sit down?
Yeah.
But she cares about us.
But you care about the people. I think exactly it. And that's what the theme here is.
Yes.
Is the people side that matters.
We have Garrison moms. She's a Garrison mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She takes care, we're all her children and she takes care of us.
And she cooks really good.
So you got an answer? Honestly, it's come out and meet us. It's your best bet.
And bring her.
All right.
So for the charity events, do you guys just put like a mass call out for a certain number of troops or Sith Lords?
What actually happens the other way. They contact us. They come on. They actually go to 501st.com and request an appearance. And then what happens is they'll go to our event organizers, event coordinators, and they work out the details. Sometimes they have very specific requests, which is a gentleman by the name of Al likes to have about one Vader and an even number of stormtroopers. Other ones have, whatever you can get out, we'd be happy with.
And then again, we sign up on the forum that we were speaking of and say whether you can attend or not. And if there's members that are willing to go, then that event is a go, and we show up and we do whatever it is that they would like us to do and enhance their event and make people happy, and they go home.
Because at the end of the day, it is all voluntary and it is all our own time. We get nothing for it. So
Oh, we get a lot for it.
We don't get remunerated
No,
financially.
okay, no,
This
absolutely not.
this is a very expensive hobby that has a great reward.
But as I can say, seeing all the event requests that come in and trying my absolute hardest to fill everyone with at least something, it's hard because there's a lot of wonderful organizations out there. There's a lot of even private organizations. We get asked to weddings, we get asked to birthday parties, we get asked to, you name it. I mean, the Star Wars is cool. But it's all out there, and we try and parcel ourselves out as best we can to accommodate everybody.
If I can ask, how much on average does it cost to make like a 501st approved out there?
That's a really long answer. Your best bet is actually come by booth.
Well,
We
I'm
can-
sure it varies depending on the outfit,
Yes.
obviously.
Yeah, that's sort of the reason why we need to talk to you, because on the short answer is, how much money do you want to spend on it?
And how much time? You can mitigate some of the money by putting your
Yeah.
own skills and your own sweat into it.
That's why there is no short answer to that one, and that's actually a lot of the favorite questions people ask.
But come to the
Yeah.
booth, and if you have a specific character, ask us, we'll tell you.
And it is a very real question because it is an investment. As opposed to my stunt TK versus Phasma, I saved for this costume to build her. It took me 11 months and it took me a lot of money. But that's the costume I wanted, and I wanted her to look a certain way when I was done. And I was not willing to cut corners because I wanted her to be exactly as she turned out. Except for I'm not 6'6".
Lifts.
Which I do have, but these are my parade.
There's actually a lady in the back who got tied, so she's going next.
I was actually wondering, individually, what is your favorite event you have done? Were there good things that stick out your mind?
Girl Guide Cookie Troop. I mean, the girls are so excited. We go in troop to help them sell their cookies. And every year, it's such a fun troop. I really love it. That's for me. And then they also give us free cookies, but that's beside the point. It's really exciting to work with the Girl Guides and go out and sell, like stormtroopers trying to sell cookies to people. It's really fun. And personally, that's what I like.
Geez, it's, you know what? It's tough to say which is my favorite because the camaraderie and every event has its own unique experience. For me, my best troop is actually meeting my so-called TK twin, who's now just a little shinier. But with each troop, I mean, it's the kids. It's seeing the smiles. And I shouldn't say it's just the kids either, because I mean, I've seen grown men and women, as soon as I make eye contact with them and make it in a gesture, to see that smile on their face and just change their tone and then give them a little bit of magic. Every troop has its own reward, so it's hard to really pick one.
For me, it was actually one of my first troops. I was at a chapters. Brand new armor, first time out, I have no idea what I'm doing. They walk us out, about 60 Ks come out of the back room into the kids area, and there's the kids who are just looking at us, and all of a sudden you just see this look of, they're real! And just that awe. I can tell you the story, and honestly, every one of us has experienced something like this. You're not going to understand it until you've done it and had it happen, but that was my favorites.
Okay, well, there's probably going to be some more tears on this one, so just bear with me. My favorite, most memorable, it was a little 6-year-old boy. It was a hospital visit to the Edmonton Stollery Hospital. His name is Declan, very rare form of cancer. His birthday wish was to meet stormtroopers. They weren't sure how it was going to go. It wasn't looking very good for him. And I was fortunate to be the stormtrooper in charge to head that up, just based on my experience with cancer and that sort of thing, and they needed someone who would be able to do that. So with 3 other members who had never trooped before in their life, that was their first troop. So we went to this troop with this little boy, and we weren't sure what to expect. And when he came through the door, of course he was in awe and he was terrified. And of course we felt horrible that we were like, oh my God, I thought this was your wish. And he left the room with his dad. I took my helmet off because as a ladies of the Legion, quite often you can do that. If there's a scared child, you're able to do that. And if they see a lady, they will associate with a mom. So immediately, for the most part, it puts them at ease. I took my helmet off. He was kind of okay. He left the room with his dad and myself. And what he was nervous about was that he had no blaster. That he couldn't protect himself from the stormtroopers because we were real. And we were like, oh, no, the hospital confiscated us. We're not allowed to carry them. It's, standard hospital issue, right? And that little boy, I can tell you, can rival any one of us in this room for his knowledge of the Star Wars and the Force. Oh my gosh, the 3 men were rendered speechless. They could not answer any questions. First of all, because they were crying in their helmets. Second of all, because they were like, oh my God, is that accurate? What? Who is this kid? And immediately, the 4 of us bonded, and we are very close friends from that experience. And we became Declan's troopers. We became his special ops troopers, and we have supported him through his whole cancer journey. And he was giving up hope. He was choosing not to fight for his life. And because of us, the hospital staff and his medical team would request us to come because we were the only thing that would have him speak, have him eat, and have him find a spark for hope to live. And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that that little boy is still with us today. And I'm his girl trooper. That's what he knows me as. And now, as a secret, which nobody else really knows, but, well, these guys do, but the rest of the people don't. I was undercover, Captain Phasma was undercover, and I selected him as a trooper. We made him an honorary member of our garrison, and he holds that secret that his girl trooper is Captain Phasma, and she's his trooper.
And now with no hope of actually being able to top that, Chuck.
Yeah, no, yes,
You got cookies? I could probably find a special moment from every single troop I've been to, and they're all miraculous on their own. I was just at a Girl Guide event, and there was a boy with Down syndrome who got out of the car and saw us and lost his mind and charged almost into the road to come and just give me a hug, which is a phenomenal thing because I terrify a lot of people.
You terrified a C-train yesterday, folks.
I revel in terrifying people. I enjoy it. But the amazing thing about children is their fearlessness. And to see that kind of reaction from kids, from adults alike, is mind-blowing. We'll talk about a story we talked about last night at our wind-up. There was a girl, we went to the Tell a Spark event, and there was a girl there who was petrified, terrified of mascots, of entertainers, of costumes, of any sort. And she, minute by minute, tried to convince herself with our help that we were not horrible, scary monsters. We had a big Chewbacca there, 7 foot plus. And by the end of the night, she was best buds with him.
This is one of the few times where we do take the helmet. Like, in here, we're doing a private meeting, but out of troop, we try to stay in character. Valentina was one of the reasons why a few of us would take our helmet off and talk with her. And it was amazing. Like, little girl has, and when we're talking, she's afraid of, imagine a panic attack, screaming. That's what this girl does.
So imagine this coming at you. And she handled it very, very cool. She said, I'm not ready for you right now. Come back in 20 minutes. I'm working on this. I'm working on getting better. And the entire night was her watching her progress to where she started to where she ended up. They actually sent us a note, a long letter thanking us about the progress that she made and the change that they saw in her based on what we did.
Kara?
I don't know if I want to speak. Teresa got me a little, that wasn't sweat, unfortunately. No, my biggest thing is, you know what, well, thank God for helmets, because sometimes you do actually get emotional in here, but at the end of the day, it's about all the lives that we see changed, and I absolutely love little girls, you know, being afraid, and then you speak, and they go, oh, it's a girl in there! Oh my God, go meet the Girl Star Trooper! And especially when you got as much gear on as I do, a lot of people don't assume that, you know, a woman is trunking this around, but you have a lot of fun with it. My absolute favorite troop was years and years ago, the Wonderland of Wishes put on by Make-A-Wish Foundation, and there was this little girl that was completely afraid of us. And so we started just talking to her, and throughout the night, you know, it was over a few hours, she just warmed up a little bit, warmed up a little bit, warmed up a little bit. By the end of the night, she was dragging us around, calling us her best friend. You know, we can barely see her because she's down here, and we only have this to see in. And she was just so excited to be around us, and it's just absolutely incredible when we can actually make a difference in a kid's life that has been through so many just hard things. So it's
And I'm going to say this, Jaden's going to be the last one to speak because we're about to get shunted out of the room, folks. So, Jaden?
Quick, maybe not necessarily my favorite troop, but most memorable. My first one was on Mirabel Yankovic stage, so that was a pretty cool first troop. I made a trip up to the Stollery Hospital to visit a little boy up there, and as we were kidding down, the nurses came in, and the nurses were in tears, and they said, "We can't believe how, we've never seen that boy smile so much." So that was quite memorable as well. And I think the other memorable ones that I've done are being part of the Make-A-Wish reveal. So we got to go to that boy's house, and they actually granted him his wish. And again, seeing the smile on their faces, it's pretty cool.
So yeah, pretty much it's a case of we get something back from giving again. What our favorite stories are.
bad guys doing good.
Bad guys doing good.
Just look for the really gross trash compactor. We're right next to it. Or the Black Series, or any one of them. We're at booth 3401. You can see our signage. So if anybody wants any more information about getting into the Legion or how you can help out, and if you're just curious and want to come by and see a whole lot of Star Wars, that's your best place to start.
First order shift, 1 o'clock. Just letting you know.
All right. Thanks everybody for coming out.